Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is the first time I've ever done a flip through, and it's technically a flip through, but also kind of an unboxing. Not that I think unboxings are that exciting, but I wanted to do this today specifically because this is a deck that I've been waiting on for such a long time. I ordered it on 16th of April, right in the middle of this coronavirus stitch up. And it arrived 2 days ago on the 7th of June, so almost 2 months waiting for this. So I'm excited that it arrived, but also relieved because it cost me an absolute fortune with currency exchange. The Aussie dollar dropped drastically, and so with the currency conversion it cost me an absolute bomb. So I'm so excited and relieved that it arrived. It's my first Marseille deck, so that's exciting for me as well. But one of the main reasons I wanted to do this, and I'll get into it quickly soon, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is because as I've, as I'm collecting more decks, especially indie or art-based decks, I'm getting an appreciation more and more for the love and work that goes into the creation of a deck. And, by sharing it and talking about it and doing something like this, flip through, it's in one way honoring the creator, but also helping me get more connected with the deck and acknowledging the soul of a deck, which is, as I'm collecting more decks, it's deepening my appreciation and knowledge of tarot, and just helping me to learn and grow, in tarot by appreciating the deck. So anyway, this is the Trionfi Della Paradoxical Rose Mutation. This is by a guy called Valenza. His company is Deviant Moon, also known as the Fernwood Asylum. I'll put the link in the description box below so you can check him out. And I'm going to open this just now. Before I do, I just wanted to show this beautiful packaging, how it arrived in this like metallic pink paper, and it was beautifully wrapped and glued, and it's just really beautiful presentation, and I appreciate that so much and think that those little things shouldn't go unnoticed. So I'll flip through and continue just to babble on about this deck because it's, besides being beautiful, it's really interesting as well. So Trionfi Della Paradoxical Rose Mutation. This was first published, I believe, in 2015 as a majors only deck, and I believe there were only 50 copies of that. So Patrick Valenza creates kind of rare and limited edition decks, which makes his work so much more interesting. His website is odd to be honest. He makes some wildly odd oracles, and I encourage you to go over and check it out and see some of the work he does, because it's interesting and beautiful and, like I said, wildly odd. So Trionfi Della, he calls the cousin of his OG deck, the Deviant Moon Tarot. The original Trionfi Della was printed, I think, in 2015, and then he's gone on to make these mutations. So there was the original Paradoxical, where the colours are inverted paradoxically, and I believe so there was a classic Paradoxical, a blue Paradoxical, and then this rose Paradoxical, which I was immediately attracted to just because, I mean, look at the colours. Just beautiful, stunning. There's only 500 of these printed, I believe. And some of the decks, I thought all of them, or maybe only just some of them, come signed. Mine didn't, so obviously it's not all of them, but I'm not at all disappointed because these are just so beautiful. Like I said, this is my first Marseille deck, and this is going to be a challenge for me. I read intuitively anyway, but these pip cards are going to be really interesting for me when I start reading, because there's no, obviously no scene really, so I'm really going to be running on intuition and just my first instinct when I take a look at the card. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting for me to start reading and learning. And like I said, as I collect different decks, I learn more and more, as I get the soul of a new deck or start to read with it and discover the voice of a deck. It just enriches and expands my tarot knowledge and tarot reading. And with each deck, what I've found is with each new deck, there's generally at least one card or several cards that either expand my traditional understanding of a card or of a card's meaning, or it completely redefines the meaning for me. And I'll show you the card in this deck that is an example of that. And also, with each new deck, I'll have a favourite card just because of how it looks. It's immediately appealing to me, not for its meaning, but generally just for its, aesthetic or visual. And this is the card in this deck for me, the Ace of Cups, which is just unlike other Ace of Cups. It has like a tower, like a castle, I guess. And generally, an Ace of Cups is generally a flow. This is just coming out of this structure. So it's immediately different from any other Ace of Cups, and it's beautiful. So far, it's my favourite card in the deck. What other one? I loved the World in this deck, and I do love these coins. They're just beautiful. But again, it's going to be interesting for me to do a read because I've never read with Marseille style decks before, so I can't wait. Now, the other interesting thing about this deck that makes it special is these 10 oracle cards that are additional to. I have to download the PDF. It didn't come with a little white book, so I have to download the PDF from the site so that I can find out the meaning of these oracle cards. And I'm not sure if I'll read with them. I'm not sure if I'll include them in the deck for reading. I probably won't, but it depends. I'll wait to see what the meanings are before I decide to include them. The other interesting thing is this lightning card, which is equivalent to the tower, and the tower is also in there, so these are interchangeable. And again, I'll wait till I'll get the PDF and read up on that, the reason why Valenza has included this as a swap or maybe additional to the tower. So that's going to be really interesting. I've got another deck coming, so that I'm really excited about, and that, again, I've been waiting a ridiculously long time for because of this, postal delays for COVID. So I feel like I'll probably do this again. I might even make a series of flip throughs just to showcase my decks, and like I said, to honor the creator and to connect more with the deck and to share it, because for me this is the first thing I do when I discover a new deck, is to look up on YouTube flip throughs so that I can check it out and decide whether it's a deck that I might connect with or want to purchase. So yeah, I may or may not make a series of flip throughs, but I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'd love your comments if you own this deck. I'd love to hear from you, any feedback or insight or anything you want to share about the deck. And if you don't have this deck, let me know if this has inspired you, or recommend another deck to me, because I don't have enough. Thanks again for joining me. I mentioned earlier that there's usually one card in the deck that either expands or redefines my understanding of a particular card, and I just remembered to go back to that and show you in this deck which one it is for me. And it's this Empress, which I'm not sure if you can see, but she has two faces. There's two sides to her, almost like a dark and light, Jekyll and Hyde maybe. I don't know, definitely two very opposing sides, and that is completely new and unlike any other Empress I've ever seen before. I normally understand the Empress to be wholesome and just I see her in a positive light, as joyous and giving and loving and all sorts of positive energy around her. But this Empress has got this dark side, and that's really interesting to me. I'm going to need to sit with that for a while and work out what that means in this card, and also what that might mean for other times that the Empress comes up, or other versions of the Empress in other decks. It's definitely going to shine a different light on the Empress for me in future. So like I said before, this is how I grow. With each and every new deck, I just grow a little bit and go deeper and get more of an understanding, and it just it's why I'm obsessed with tarot, because it's a never-ending story, and it's just such an interesting passion. And what is tarot? It's I don't know. Leave your comments and tell me what you think tarot is. Anyway, thanks again for joining me.